2023 had already been a disastrous year for Disney at the box office. Hundreds of millions of dollars in losses due to multiple box office flops and disappointments. And with maybe one of the biggest of them all, with the Marvels just debuting, a second weekend disaster, Disney now has one last chance to end things on a positive note going into next year, and that is Wish. An animated movie geared towards families that, again, has a $200 million production budget. A massive budget for a movie like this. And the critics, let's just say they're not really liking it, because as of right now, it debuted to bad Rotten Tomatoes scores, and they've just continued to get worse. Disney's Wish unfulfilled with Rotten Tomatoes score worse than last year's box office disaster. That was Strange World, if you remember that piece of shit. And then it just continued to go down. Right now, it's sitting there at 49%. Now, critics are critics. Critics weren't super high on the Super Mario Brothers movie either, but that turned out to be a massive box office success that audiences really loved. We'll have to see what happens with Wish, but for right now, people are starting to get very concerned about the box office, because just a few days ago, box office tracking had this thing at pretty reasonable numbers, pretty decent numbers for the domestic returns. It was supposed to open a normal 3-day opening, $40 to $60 million, and the Thanksgiving holiday was sitting there $57 to $86 million. So if you are on the high end of those things, that could be looking at a decent opening for something like Wish. All of that has changed within the last couple days, and now these are the new projections. Wish to rise Disney animation star over Thanksgiving with $75 million global opening for the entire Thanksgiving holiday, because again, these movies have already come out. They open earlier than they would normally open because of Thanksgiving. So you're going to have bigger numbers for this weekend than we would normally expect because of the 5-day holiday. But even with that being said, these things have gone down. These projections have gone down significantly from what we just had a week ago. Wish is now looking as much as a $45 to $50 million over the 5-day holiday weekend here domestically, expecting potentially another $25 million or so internationally for maybe $75 million global. That is a big difference from what we saw before. Now, this is what they're projecting, around a $37 million 3-day and a $56 million 5-day holiday weekend. Those numbers make it a lot harder for them to get to profitability, because it's not as big of a disaster as Elemental's opening weekend was. That had great legs, that had a great hold, it did incredibly well internationally, but that movie still lost money for Disney. Let's not get it twisted. Couldn't even break $500 million, let alone the break-even point of around $600 million. This is a movie with a similar budget. If they have a similar international to domestic split, you could be looking at something that needs $550, $600 million just to break even. And a 3-day opening of $37 million, that doesn't exactly put you in great territory. Look at the normal opening weekends for some of these other things. That would put it a little bit under something like Chicken Little, which didn't light up the box office 18 years ago. That would be below even something like Tarzan. They're maybe around Tarzan, a little bit above Encanto, certainly above something like Elemental, which is about $30 million. But you still find yourself in that Onward, Good Dinosaur type of realm. Now, it's tough to compare holidays to holidays because you get that extra big boost. You have a massive Thursday because there's people that are off work, all this shit. So it'll be tough to really put whatever the final 5-day is in comparison, to be honest with you. But either way, the fact that we've seen such a significant drop-off. At one point, Wish was projecting out to maybe $75, $80 million just domestically for this big opening. Well, now that is way down to just $75 million global opening worldwide. I've heard some people come out that I trust with reviewing this stuff that said it's like one of the worst animated movies they've ever seen from Disney. They absolutely despised it. Will families go out to see this? Families have not been trusting Disney lately. It's been a big problem for them. It's one of the reasons Elemental got off to such a slow start in all likelihood, because Disney is not a trustworthy brand for families anymore. They've been too busy putting all their own bullshit in it. And also keep in mind, Wish's trailer got ratioed a couple months ago. It just doesn't really seem like people are interested in this. If it does open at $75 million, it's going to be very, very soft, and it's going to be tough for it to pass that $500, $600 million at the global box office that it needs to break even. If these projections end up being true, then that would be bad news going forward for Wish. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.